You know, one of the other things I was thinking about when I was putting together my little YouTube thing here was I don't really have like an intro, so I'm gonna work on that.
Yeah, for sure.
I do have like that little new sound that I'm gonna play, but
Hmm.
I'm gonna make it a little bit better than that. Alright, let's do this. Grab this guy. Put this here. Thanks News Podcast. Episode 1. Boom. 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 Oh, no, why did I put it there? I put that in the wrong place. I
Hmm.
gotta take this here, put this here, put that there, put that there. Okay. Now let me put it in line. And forward to groups. We got that one, make this one, and that one. Alright. The word is out. Now, let me bring my notes up so I'm not just blindly jibber jabbering. What I like to do is so that Trello board is where I like to keep kind of the big notes, if you will.
Yeah.
And then what I do, and which I'm going to try to keep doing it on the Trello board. It's just easier for me to actually like physically write them. I don't know,
Hmm.
it just gets my ideas out later. But I've been like writing like a page of notes pretty much before I come on. Just like what I'll do is I'll grab that topic, right, and then that we put on the Trello board, and I'll think about it, and then as I'm doing that, I'll write notes down, and that just kind of helps me free think, I guess.
Yeah.
Something to
I hadn't
think
thought about
about.
that. I was just gonna have Trello up.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I hadn't thought about that until like 20 episodes into the other podcast. So it is what it is. All right. So, all right. Let me get this other page up. We'll get recording, and we'll just hop into it.
For sure.
Should probably wait to hit record until you're done with that. I'm just kidding. You're fine. California, baby.
No, that's just my fish tank aquarium.
My fish tank aquarium sounds like somebody ripping a bone.
Mhm.
Fish tank aquarium.
It's a fish tank aquarium. That's not my notes. That's the game. Here we go.
It's a zen thing.
For sure.
Just water bubbling.
I'm coughing, choking. All right, got that up. That up. All right, man. Ready to rock and roll?
Whenever you're ready.
All right. Oh, what's up? Azure Dragon.
Well,
What's up, man? Welcome to the lounge.
Now recording.
Oh, I hadn't brought my soundboard up yet. All right. Here we go. Welcome to Alliance News with TheLastGamer and Moo00se. I'm Moo00se. Welcome to episode number 1 of Alliance News with TheLastGamer and Moo00se. So yeah, man, this is our first episode here. We've been talking about this one for a while now. I'll let TheLastGamer introduce himself, and then we'll kind of get into some stuff here. But welcome, TheLastGamer. Thanks for doing this with me. And how you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Yourself?
I'm doing all right, man. Yeah, I'm excited to get this one going. We've been talking about it for a while here, so
Yeah,
ready.
man. Been looking forward to this.
For sure, man. So yeah, I'm Moo00se. I do a podcast with the Ghost Dog, MC Lounge. But the main kind of portion of this show is going to be us kind of talking about alliances. Really, only about alliances. We're not going to really kind of go into like the event quests or anything like that. We're just going to be talking about alliance stuff, strategies, tips, things like that. But yeah, so that's one thing that I know I have a lot of experience with because I've led a lot, I've built a lot of alliances and stuff like that. But yeah, so you since you kind of been back, you took a break and come back, and kind of I'll let you talk about that. But you're kind of now a newly appointed leader of 107, the Star Jammers. Congratulations on that one, and yeah. So let's talk about that kind of your story, how it got to where you are now, I guess, in the game.
Yeah, so I started Moo00se nearly 3 years ago now. Started because I've always been into Marvel stuff. Thought I'd give the game a go.
Sure.
I was actually at my grandparents at the time. Started up and kind of couldn't put the game down for the first like 48 hours, and just kind of got hooked from there.
Right.
Was playing it for about 2 years, and then started a brand new job, which I realized I wouldn't be able to spend that much time playing the game, so I took a break. I was in 616 at that point. So I took a break, and then I came back about 6-7 months ago, and yeah, that's
Cool.
where I'm at now.
Yeah, man. So I mean, I know. Was it just 616 that you were in alliance with, or weren't you somewhere before that? Or was that the first alliance you were in for in our community here?
I think the first one was 616.
Oh, okay, all right.
And then I think I moved up to another one, the one just above 616.
That's right. Didn't you? You went into, was it like 964 SS, something like that?
Yes, I do.
And then you had to take a break, right?
Yeah, I had to take a break,
right.
And then.
That's right.
And then.
Yeah, because that was like a long time ago. Because then you came back, and when you came back, because you had lost that account, right?
Yeah. Smashed my phone to be. I'd just come back, rejoined 616.
Yeah.
During playing it, me and my girlfriend went out for a walk, and we were in the middle of an alliance war, and I went, oh, you know what, I'm pull out my phone, just quickly do this. As I pulled out my phone, realised I didn't have a case on it, and then as I realised that, it slipped out of my hand and fell onto like solid pavement. I was like,
my goodness,
I'm ruined.
It's just terrible timing.
So, yeah, absolutely terrible timing. I had to get a new phone, so obviously, you know, I wasn't active for like 2-3 weeks, and then I came back and had to start a new account.
For sure. Yeah, no, I remember that, because I was going to say, like, I remember there was a longer story, and then there was all that. So, yeah. No, I remember when you came back, and you know, you were kind of gone for a few days. And, you know, part of being an alliance and being a leader is, you know, having, I guess, some sort of sympathy. I mean, I know everybody kind of runs their alliances differently, but how I've kind of built our alliances and how I've hopefully that's how our alliances go in our community here. But you know, like, you give somebody a couple days, and then if they don't log in for a couple days, and if they still even haven't said anything online, then you kind of unfortunately have to let them go. Which
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
that was definitely the case with you, and we
Oh
didn't
yeah,
know what happened to the
100%.
whole.
Yeah.
Like we were just like, oh, we didn't hear from him, and I sent you like message after message, and then I mean, you were a solid member, right? So you were like, it was definitely weird. It wasn't like out of the blue, or we're just gonna kick you because like you were kind of a ghost all the time. Like you were a solid member.
No, yeah,
Yeah. So,
yeah.
but
I
yeah, no,
remember
I remember
I
you
made
then.
a made a
Yeah,
thing.
coming back, you're like, hey man, sorry about that. I kind of smashed my phone. It took me a couple weeks to get one.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, no, I know it's always. I know. I remember we had this conversation, and I have this conversation a lot, so I might as well kind of talk about it. But it's always, some people don't always know that you're able to retrieve your account.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're just like, oh, I couldn't like log back into it, or I didn't know how to log back into it. And I always, let people know that, like, if you knew the email address that you had for your Google account, and you had or your Apple Store, you are able to go like kind of log into the Kabam forums or the Kabam website there, and that's essentially your login for the game. And then you could log into the
Hmm.
game, and then you have that back, right? So a lot of people didn't know that. They end up starting new accounts. I remember we had that conversation with you, and I remember your situation was like really unique. You tried to get it back, or like you didn't have access to that email, or it wasn't access to your email or
Hmm.
something like that. But it was
So
something different that
I
was,
had it had yeah, I had the email, had the password. When I went to log it in, it said this account isn't found. So I went straight to the Kabam forums and was like, how do I get my account back? So obviously it took me through all the process about emails and everything. Sent them an email with all the details, like first real payments on the game, um, roughly the date the account was made, etc., etc. So I gave all that information, and they came back saying, unfortunately, your account's been closed because it was gone for so long. Uh, there was no one on the account for so long, so we just assumed that it was a ghost account, so we completely got rid of the account.
huh.
Um, and they were like, unfortunately, we can't retrieve the account now. The account is still on the servers and stuff. We can't give you the account back.
Yeah. Yeah, man,
Um,
that sounds frustrating.
yeah, for sure.
Because that account was pretty that account was up
Pretty
there, right?
stacked.
Didn't you have a couple solid champs, right?
Pretty stacked. I just pulled. No, I just awakened 5-star thing,
Okay.
which was going to be my next rank up for AW. Um, I had like max 4 stars, like Blade, Sparky, Hyperion, those. I
Nice.
had a really solid 5-star. I think I had an Awakened Archangel at rank 3. No, rank 2 Archangel.
Okay.
Yeah, rank 2 Archangel.
It was on the way.
And I was getting, yeah, he was somewhere. I was getting ready to take him up to rank 3, and then boom, account gone.
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, well, and then there was a whole bunch of other stuff. You needed work and all that stuff too. But
Yeah, all that stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, that's frustrating. But yeah, no, I know always like when people lose their accounts, but it's also I know for me, whenever I haven't done it in a while, it's been quite a long time. Honestly, just been busy with a whole bunch of other stuff. But it's been a long time since I started another account, and I know when you start other accounts, like it's a whole nother process, and even like the first time you go through it, you stumble through it. You don't really know. You don't know the nodes. You don't know
Mm.
which champ to use or which champ to rank up. And a lot of the times, it's hard to find like a solid alliance, or at least like even just answers
Oh
or
yeah, for sure.
questions
Yeah.
that you have in the beginning. So, one, that's kind of the reason behind the whole like community, and why we, kind of why I build it and why we try to get people around. But it's always a completely different story, a completely different story, or a completely different experience the second time around.
Oh yeah,
How's that been for
for
you, like
sure.
for this new account?
Um, yeah, it's definitely been an experience. So as I said, I started my old account like over 3 years or almost 3 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and at that point it was really hard to get 3-star, 4-star shards, and it was really
For
hard
sure.
just to like level up because there was so much limited um content. So when I then had to start this new account, I was fuming because I thought it was going to take me then like a year to get
Right.
through all the content again, and
Yeah.
I think I told you the other day, when I originally played through Act 4, it took me like 2, 3, 4 months to take down Maestro.
Mm-hmm.
And on this account, it took me like 2, 3 weeks.
For sure.
Um,
Yeah.
just because of like I knew his mechanics, I knew how his specials worked, I knew
Exactly.
how to evade, like what like masteries
Mm-hmm.
to pick up first and all that. Yeah, it was. I've had some real good luck on this account with PHCs, and like I think I told you, like first PHC I ever opened was a 4-star Doc Doom,
Oh gosh.
and and that was
Hallelujah.
just yeah, that was just through the roof. I remember
Yeah.
I just got him as well, like on my old account, and took him to rank 5. He's insane, and then like 2, 3 weeks later, I opened him again from a PHC and awakened him. I
Jeez.
was like, that's
It's insane.
insane.
It's that luck doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't. And
Yeah.
like I've just on this new account, I've just taken my first 3 4 stars to rank 5, Corvus, Doom, and Ghost. So
Yeah, those are all
yeah,
some solid ones right there.
yeah, some pretty
Yeah.
hard hitting ones there.
Right, exactly. No, I know when I like quite different from, like my main account and my even just like my alt accounts. My let's see, I have them up right here, but like I remember, yeah. So like you were saying, three, like 4-star, 5 stars. The shards were always really hard to get in the beginning.
Oh
And
yeah.
I know when I was starting, I have a rank 4 Winter Soldier and a rank 4 Storm, which nobody's ever really going to do unless like they have things expiring and it works for something or else these days. But back in the day, that's kind of how it was. But on this other new account that I have, this my alt account, out of like 10 5 stars, let me just hit filter here real quick. Let's see, I got 11 5 stars. I got Captain Marvel movie, Doc Doom, Sentinel, Hulkbuster, Namor, Ronin with an I, the Black Widow, Deadly Origin, and then like 4 other ones that aren't very good. The luck has been crazy compared to my old account, right? Like
Yeah,
it's
I
insane,
mean,
man.
yeah, like about 5 stars was then. Like I remember when I first got my first 5-star crystal, I was hyped. I remember I
Mm-hmm.
was like yelling in 107's chat and just like, I've got my first 5-star, I'm popping it. I'm not spinning out. I'm just popping it straight away. And but the first champ I pulled was Doc Voodoo, and I was just like,
It's awesome.
I had him on my old account. I don't know how I feel about him, but then I've been using him quite a bit in like AQ and stuff, and I've just been flying through.
For sure.
Um,
Yeah, no, he's cool.
but yeah, like every time I've been opening crystals, I've been like, please don't give me another mystic. Please don't give me another mystic, because my first one was Doc Voodoo. My one straight after was Ghost Rider. Third 5-star Star Lord. Fourth was Old Man Logan. My most recent was Sorcerer Supreme.
Wow.
Um,
It's a lot of mystics.
Yeah, I keep just begging for no more mystics. I just need that
Fair enough.
one good mutant champ, and I can just go through.
I was gonna say
Um,
that's how my min account is. I have like overflow. I have 10 T4 CCs of like every class except for mutant and overflow. And I have like 0 mutant ones because I have a whole bunch of
yeah,
mutants. Not complaining because like I'm ranking them to rank 5, right? Like Mags and Colossus, like all the top ones. But it's just, yeah, it's crazy how it works for sure. Yeah, man. So we're gonna kind of talk about leading and just how we're kind of what we're gonna get into with this podcast. This podcast, I guess, is kind of more of a this episode 1 is more of an introduction to us and what we're gonna be getting into in the future here. And I'm really excited about it. Like I know I've in the past since I have really been kind of like building alliances for. For like pretty much since I started the game, other than like maybe the first 6 months or so. Um, I have always like tried to build or make like a guidebook or something or just helpful tips. But then I'm like, oh, let me just start another alliance, and then, so like I just end up getting like distracted or whatever as far as making that goes. But I'm really gonna take an opportunity for this podcast here to kind of like put that stuff together. Try to make cool like infographics or really just strategies and tips for maybe even new players,
Mhm.
or people who, maybe are, I don't know, struggling with like why they keep bouncing from alliance to alliance. I know a lot of alliances out there, and leaders and officers and stuff don't necessarily try to help or teach or lend a hand or stuff like that. And that's the one thing I always wanted to get across with, at least our leaders and officers, was you got to understand that life comes first. And then, after life, and then like, with, line, we got to make sure we communicate. That's why we're online. So, that's, all that stuff. But I kind of wanted to get your opinion because I feel like, I know it was funny. Koi, or Duck Dragon, as his in-game name in the game is, he pointed out that you went from officer to leader in like 9 days
Yeah,
or something like that.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I remember that.
and I totally understand his like why and all that stuff. But I don't think they knew that we have known each other, or that like you've been in the community for like the past 3-4 years or something like that. So.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I kind of
yeah.
wanted to get like your first, like your take on officers before you became one, and then now that you've been in one for like a couple weeks, 3 weeks now, or something like that. How do you feel now about them?
Well, so originally I thought this is gonna sound like really off the cuff, but I thought officers were really quite stuck up and
Fair enough.
just kind of threw at you like all their issues from the leader. They just threw at you. Which obviously I was an officer and then have now ascended to leader. I've kind of now realised that officers are effectively the right hand man of the leader. They're the ones who need to pull the weight a little bit for the leader to give people and
For sure.
um or where it comes to like reaching out to people and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They need to have them being a bit arrogant and stuck up so that the alliance just doesn't crumble.
For sure.
Um, yeah,
For sure. No, I've always even when building alliances, like officers are always the main key, and they're really kind of make or break the alliance. Like if you get a good leadership group, because that's really what it is at the end of the day, and that's one of the things that I always tried to preach was it's a leadership group. Everybody needs to do it by committee. Like yes, I guess basically the kind of way I've always took it was, I guess the leader just really needs to make the worst decisions, the tough decisions,
mm,
and the officers, give their input, right? Like, so they give you all the information they can give you, and then you got to make the hard decision. Um,
oh
and,
yeah,
and and then honestly, that's probably being the officer is part of the harder thing to do, and it's one of the hardest things to do, at least as far as you like. It requires more attention because you are constantly watching, or you're constantly looking, because you want to be able to, you know, have a good eye, or like the way I've always looked at it is your officer needs to be the person, like their BG is their alliance. Like they need to run that how they would run an alliance. So
hmm
it's tough, exactly, for sure. And I could totally understand like what's it called, like looking at the officers and just being like, gosh, what is wrong with these people? Like why are they like always like on me, or why are they always tagging people or stuff like that? But for sure, I know officers like Tika Teka Tika, probably Tika Fox, or
yeah.
Jonesy in
Tekka,
107. She's awesome. Yeah, I
yeah,
believe. Amazing officer, totally enthusiastic, rallies the troops all the time. Definitely enjoy the presence there. So,
oh yeah. I mean, you saw it within the first few days of me being
oh,
officer, or not
absolutely,
officer, of leader. I had to make a quite a intense call.
for sure. It's breaking up.
Oh right, yeah, yeah.
Oh, we're kind of losing him. We're breaking in and out here, but um, oh, Jay Wayne, what's up, man? And then Lake Crespa National Park. What's going on, guys? Um, yeah, man, 107 all day. He's gonna come back here now, but yeah, no, I mean, I've always building alliances and
Hello,
stuff like that. Yeah, oh, you're back. Um,
hello. Sorry
so yeah,
about
no, I mean, so your officers, like, really, at the end of the day, I feel like the job of an officer and the job of a leader are different, right? Um, you kind of like, I mean, as my one of the reasons why I think I always liked building them, and I don't know, maybe why a certain way you could probably say I was addicted to it, is like
that.
I enjoyed talking to people. I enjoyed getting to know people. Just really kind of like where they're coming from, and then also just trying to make sure that everybody was on the same page. So it was always for me, a leader was the person who was kind of they needed to be that at least contact or at least have an open relationship with the kind of just your regular average member who's just playing the game, so they do feel comfortable coming to you. Or also as a leader, I need to feel comfortable going to them to be like, hey,
Yeah,
what's going on, man? Like, let's talk about it, because if you don't really have that connection, it's hard to start that conversation or things like that. Have you seen kind of that in your first weeks at
oh
being a
yeah,
leader?
for sure. Obviously, we've just gone down to 1BG battle group through off season,
Okay.
and I remember everyone put like thumbs up and thumbs down in the group chat whether they wanted to be in the battle group, and I had to kind of make a list to decide who was gonna get the spots, and I had a few people coming to me being like, "Look, I know you put me in, and I know I said I could, but I can't do this war."
Hmm.
And I've kind of had to reach out to people who maybe didn't want to do it and just say, "Look, can you do this one?"
For
And
sure.
then we'll see if we can swap you out on the next one.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, we got a pretty easy war this run round, so
Nice. But I mean, that's it, man. Just reaching out to people and like kind of making not like making deals or whatever, but just like leveling with people, I guess, if you will. So I think at the end of the day, that it makes it easier. It makes it a nicer environment to be in. Because at the end of the day, it's a
yeah,
game, right? And we're just trying to enjoy the game, enjoy the environment that we're in, right?
yeah, for sure.
It was funny. There was this guy. I think he joined. He joined 616. So he was in. I guess I don't. I feel like the move he's making may be parallel, but it was more or less like a. He was kind of, I guess, coming from a map 5 to more of a map 4 one. So I guess it's kind of a drop.
Hmm.
But he was talking to me, and I was like, so I mean, why are you even leaving the one you're leaving, right? Because the one you're in looks awesome. He's like, I mean, honestly, they're just it's map 5, and it's not like super difficult, but they're just always on me to like just finish my lane, and it's like, I mean, like, I get that, like, I get wanting people
Yeah,
wanting to finish their lane, but I also understand where there's like you got to be patient with people and understand that yeah, there's time. But it was funny. I went into the chat and I was like, "Hey guys, like I just kind of fast tracked this guy because I just we had a good chat. I really kind of get dig the vibe from him. And at the end of the day, he just wants to be in an alliance where he's not getting bitched at, and everybody was just like, "Oh, well, that makes sense, cool." But I mean, it's true, man. I feel like but there's I don't know. I feel like there's two sides to it, and it's really how the kind of officers and leaders make it. Like how what the vibe they're putting out is if it's like kind of cohesive, everybody work together environment. Cool. Is it a business like where we just need to push? Cool. I've never really liked the business sides push those kind of alliances because I don't feel like they last long at the end of the day and they're stressful.
yeah. Nah, I remember I used to be in one like that, and
Yeah.
I remember about 2 weeks before the alliance actually full on just broke down and everyone left.
Mm-hmm.
I had said like, look, this is too much. Like, we're pushing way too much, and we don't
Right.
need to. We're losing like 3/4 of the wars because we're trying to boss push instead of actually trying to 100% it.
Right.
And I ended up leaving, And then I got a message from one of the old alliance mates saying, "Look, I've just joined a new alliance because that old alliance just like completely crumbled to the ground and
Yeah.
just burnt from the inside out." So
Yeah.
I completely agree with what you're saying. How you've got to be comfortable with whatever the alliance his mindset is, because if you go into it wanting a business style and wanting to get those high ranks and the rank rewards and all that, and you go into a lower end alliance, you're not gonna feel comfortable. You're not gonna be able to progress as much as you want to.
Exactly.
But it's the same on the flip side as well.
Yeah. I
Like if
also
you want to
feel.
play the game casually.
Yeah, for sure. I also feel like it's a whole different dynamic to the game now. There's so much to do as a solo person in the game. Like, so taking breaks, like, you can still enjoy the game. There's still a ton to do, especially with the side events and stuff. I know we're not going to get into those as Alliance based, but there's so much to do in the game that it makes running an alliance obviously difficult these days, because it's easier for people to take breaks. So creating that environment, I know there was a solid shift, I'd say maybe, I don't know, maybe about a year and a half ago, where you had to just stop doing 3BGs in war if you wanted to I don't know, keep people around longer. I mean, that's just kind of the way I see it. Like, war and quest used to be great because that was how you got, like, war you'd get your shards, and quest you'd get the rank up material, right? Like, but now there's so much stuff in the game to get those other shards and stuff that you don't really need war. I feel like the only really reason I do war these days is because of the loyalty. I just need that because, like, boosts and things like that in the loyalty store. But
For sure, yeah.
but yeah, there was a solid shift from doing that. So I know pushing people and stuff, it's tough these days, but the shift from keeping people in an alliance has been a lot. It's been a lot tougher these days, and making more of like a, I don't know, I guess kind of casual, middle of the road, but like still progressing. I don't know. I've always found if you get these people who, the folks who are a little kind of higher but want a little break, and then the people who are a little lower that want to push, you mix those two together, and it seems pretty good. I mean, it has some tendencies to fall, but other than that, it seems to be working out fairly well. Would you say so?
Yeah, I would. I don't think I saw the drop in not needing 3BGs. So like when I became leader, I asked the question, like, should we go to 3BGs and more? Like, is everyone up for that? And quite a lot of people said yeah, but then there were still those few who would make up that third BG who were like not feeling it just quite yet, and that I just had to take a step back and went, if you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it. We can't progress to 3BGs, and then
Exactly.
for a few of you to be like, I'm not feeling, I'm not going to put the effort in.
Right.
So rather everyone feel it and everyone be like, you know what, yeah, let's give this season a try at 3BGs, and then if after that season we feel like, nah, that was a bit too much, we can pull it back a little bit.
Yeah. See, it's tough, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I was gonna say, because that's like 616. They kind of, I don't know. It was there was going through a lot of changes, and I feel like that alliance was really in the limbo of like progressing and kind of also beginning accounts kind of coming through, and also a lot of the beginner accounts were more or less like second accounts, so people knew what they were doing. They just didn't have the champs, right?
Yeah.
And these days, I know one of the things I keep preaching, and I'm going to keep preaching it until it happens, but I don't think they should be locking up champs anymore for like alliance events and for solo events. I feel like they should just kind of draw the line with, you can't use alliance events for, quests and wars. Cool, I get locking them out for that, but solo events I feel like they shouldn't be the change. But like,
I agree with you.
Right.
I do agree with you on that.
I mean, it's outdated, I feel like, at this point.
Yeah, because especially with all like the book 2 content coming out and
Exactly.
all the
All
different
the content they're coming with.
Yeah, like all the variants that are there.
Right. So
a lot of people like myself were just trying to get to level 45.
Exactly, right? Exactly. Like, you're trying to get level 45, and you're not going to be doing that. Like, you don't get those constant XPs in Alliance. Like, you're not building that. And I remember, like, building the, to level, 40 and 60 and stuff like that, like you needed you needed that because that was really the only place where you were getting the awards. So I remember finding
Yeah.
charts and focusing on, well, when am I going to be level 59? Well, it's going to probably be like in a month, but I'm grinding every single day for it, right? But yeah, no, I mean, I just feel like they should really separate that, and I feel like then you'd probably have more people doing more. Like Jay Wayne, he was just saying that he's gonna, he's probably pretty soon from maybe retiring his account from AW at least full time, and
Yeah.
it makes sense. Like I feel it's just for how much you're really getting out of it. It's and especially the stress that it comes from it. I mean, I know it's stressful. But kind of what I was saying about 616 is they were kind of in this like juggling point where, like you were saying, like, do we push for 3 BGs or do we not? And I found kind of dropping it down to 2 BGs, you have at least more people hopping in, and if they're hopping in, right, then they're like they're trying to get in there quickly, which means they want to do it. And if they want to do it,
Yeah.
great. Then you maybe only have like 2 or 3 people that kind of limp in or whatever. But I
For
feel
sure.
like you just have more people trying at the end of the day, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For sure. But also, there's a lot of people who love war, like Tally here.
Yeah. So I like war quite a bit, which is why I
Okay.
enjoy getting in there and having a little play around and stuff. Purely because it's a way to have a break from the story events and AQ and stuff. You
Mhm.
can get in there. You can have a little bit more of a challenge than what the stage you're at currently in the game.
Exactly.
And where it's not too hard, but it's just hard enough that it's still quite fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, for sure. I mean, I do enjoy. Like, I think I enjoy. I mean, I don't necessarily enjoy war, to be honest with you. I was trying to find something while I was saying, I mean, I enjoy it, but I don't. Like,
Well, everyone has their things, though, don't they?
no, exactly. Like, I don't think I've progressed so far in the game because, like, I get more from the game than I get more out of the game by building alliances and building like communities than actually playing the game. I guess these days too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, exactly. It's to each their own, right? Like Mr. Boombastic, he's in the YouTube chat over here. He was talking about how we're saying, like, some people love it, some people don't. I think finding those people, and I know I always find at least one of those, persons in an alliance to get them as an officer, like Dr. Agner or Koi Boy in 107 loves doing war, make them like the war czar and just have them, like, just because they love it, right? They love it, so have them just focus on that, and they don't really need to focus on anything. That's another, I think, part of being a leader that, another like tip, I guess, is finds people who like doing certain things and just have them do that one job as stressless, stress-free as possible.
Oh yeah.
And I think it works out in the benefit,
Sure,
right?
I
I mean,
completely agree with
I
that.
think we placed not higher than I think we maybe placed higher than like the accounts we have than we would have in 107, or I wasn't in there at the end of the season, but I feel like I was there.
I think we definitely placed higher than probably a lot of accounts at our level did, but
Yeah.
that's mainly because of, in my opinion, because the officers always
Exactly.
always on people's back. Like if they hadn't moved yet, being like, look, you need to move. Someone's waiting for you to unlink them and that sort of stuff.
Exactly.
Like, it was mainly due to like Koi and a lot of the other officers that were
For sure.
like just kind of pushing us a little bit.
Right.
And I mean, when I took over just towards the end of the season, I felt a big weight on that because I was trying to pressure people, and obviously I was new to it all, so I was trying to pressure people, but then also trying to be like, just try and get to it whenever you can, kind of thing.
Exactly. There is definitely that balance where, and I think that's, I think that there's the respect kind of has to come from both sides. The member has to understand why the leader's doing it, and the leader just has to just kind of do it, right? Like, it's just like, I'm not doing it because I necessarily want to. I don't want to come to you and be like, hey man, can you move? I just want you to move. But
Mm.
like 9 other people are waiting for you to move. You gotta move, dude. Like, come on.
Especially when it comes to like the boss killers and stuff. Like if
Yeah,
they don't move, then you're kind of like
right.
then you're just stuck.
Exactly.
Um, yeah. No,
For
but
sure.
I do definitely agree that champs shouldn't be locked in anymore.
No,
There's too much stuff in the game for them to continue having them locked, but I don't think they're going to change it
I
personally.
don't. I mean, it seems like everybody seems to agree. So yeah, why would they change it, right? That kind of seems to be the Kabam way. Um,
Yeah.
but
Everyone
yeah,
thinks that we should do one thing. Let's not do it.
let's just like do it even harder. Like like you can't use.
Exactly.
They're probably going to bring
You
out.
can't
Oh
even use those
gosh,
champs in you can't even use those champs in arena.
exactly.
Brilliant.
I was going to say I want to say something that I could foresee happening, but I also don't want to say it because I could foresee it happening, and if they do it, I'm going to quit. But like if you like, I could see them doing it so you can't use like AQ champs 2 days in a row. I would be so pissed.
Oh,
Like you can't
don't
use
say that.
attackers 2 days in a row. I think everybody would just quit. But
I think
that would be
pure.
like the step the other way.
I think they would people purely quit because people purely
Yeah,
rank a lot of people like
exactly.
myself rank up champs for Alliance War attack or AQ attack.
Yeah,
Like they don't rank up champs in just a big bulk and be like, yeah, he'll do for AQ kind of thing.
right.
They
Exactly.
rank up specific champs to have utility and have healing and stuff for AQ, but then have damage for Alliance War. Like
Yeah.
and a bit of a mix for Alliance War, whereas AQ it's like utility and attack. Um, Mate, if they do that, I think I might just quit the game entirely.
Oh, absolutely.
I think I might just like put the game down to bed and just be like
That'll
see you
do.
later, Moo00se.
I'll
Yeah,
talk to you all later. Like add
that
me
was a good
on
run.
Twitter or something.
Yeah, that
That
was a
was a
good
fun
run.
5 years, half a decade.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think not locking, or I think having the champs locked, and then just that's all that.
Originally, it was a good idea.
I mean, exactly, it made a lot of sense. There wasn't a whole lot of stuff to do on the side events, so you'd want people to kind of maybe use those extra energies. So you give people to use the units. Like I get it, I get it, I totally understand. There
To be
just wasn't
fair,
a lot to do.
it even makes sense if they locked up champs until you got to, let's say, until you completed like an initial completion of Act 4. They locked up champs, but as soon as you hit that completion of Act 4, they unlock so that
I
you can
see it.
do
No.
uncollected
For sure.
and all that.
Yeah. See, I mean, I feel like at every level, like, I mean, I see what you're saying and how they can kind of implement it and maybe something like that. Totally understand. I feel like if you're an account that is lower, you probably need more of your champs. But I mean, I feel like
Mm,
it kind of ties into one of the things that we're going to dive into next episode. But we're not ending right now or anything, but just one of the things that we're going to dive into is like AQ and just kind of strategies and tips and for members and, officers and stuff. So, but
for sure.
locking champs, ranking champs, things like that. Um, One of the things that, I know when I was kind of growing in the game, I guess, and getting my skills, I like the fights that gave me the like patience to continue to fight and like have to like slow down and be like, okay, I know this is going to be a long fight, like just gotta do it and be patient. Is I had terrible champs for my 4 stars. I think I had like War Machine, White Magneto, and somebody else. So those were terrible champs to start with
Ouch.
as 4 star, right? Yeah,
I was gonna say
exactly.
they're
Ouch.
terrible. They were terrible champs back in the day.
They were still terrible. They're always terrible. But those were like
Well,
the only
yeah,
4 stars I had. And then I got what's his name, Grey Hulk, like 17 times. So it was miserable. But the fight
brilliant.
that kind of gave me the patience and all that stuff was Colossus when he was an AQ champ, an AQ mini boss. He would, I would go up against him with War Machine. The fight took absolutely forever. But
Yeah,
that's one of the things that we're talking about. And I think not locking your champs, one of the things that we're going to talk about is the tips and strategies is, like taking a one of your champs and, kind of donating them to the mini boss each sector. And I feel like that strategy really works at any level: map 2, map 3, map 4, map 5, map 6. I don't know about map 7 because I don't know map 7. But I know at least in
Nah, I
map
don't.
6, like I still at least practice against the mini every time I get to it. I try to at least have a champ. I mean, I know I'm, maybe not every time because maybe I didn't do very well in this first section, so I lost a couple champs or blah, 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 whatever. But I always push myself to at least try because that's probably the best place you're going to have in a like low kind of cost environment, if you will, to practice a champ that's difficult. A lot of the times you may have to go into so starting like say your account now in 107, it's still growing and everything like that.
Hmm.
Finding a champ that's really difficult to fight is that has weird difficult nodes that you would find being uncollected or being cavalier. You're not really going to find that, but you are going to find that with AQ mini bosses. And I feel
Oh
like
yeah,
that's an
for sure.
excellent place for people to practice and grow and gain confidence. And it's tough to do that. And like we're saying, when those champs are locked, it's tough to grow in the solo events. So you're just kind of at this like, catch 22 where I know I get it. You don't want people to progress that fast. Like that's kind of Kabam's thing is they don't want people to go too fast. But like at a certain point, people are just being deadlocked and stopping and not progressing and not wanting to play because they're just not going anywhere. And I feel like I've ranted long enough about that.
Nah, I do agree with you. Um, and for me, I agree with Kabam that you don't want people to progress too fast.
Right.
You
It's just not fun.
yeah, but you still need the element of you need people to be able to progress quite quickly
And it's like, what am I going to
at a lower
do?
level.
Exactly. And what am I going to do at the end of the month when I've already finished everything and my champs are locked? When I could probably be progressing even just a little bit more by like going through the next EQ or at least practicing the next like chapter or something like that.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah. I mean, so for me, I've had a hard time this month, especially with um like ISO and all that, and I
For
found
sure.
that even doing some of the lower EQs, you got those shards and those crystals that you could um,
4 stars.
open up those to open up those 4 stars or open up those 3 stars to get those the ISO that then you could like rank up champs with.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, I know there is that point to where you kind of like finish the stuff prior, right? And then, so I guess you could be doing that while your champs are locked in. Let's say you are doing AQ and war, you can go do that stuff. So, excuse me, that does make sense. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just feel like it's an outdated idea, but I mean, I get it. And you can get those ISO. Yeah, that was one thing. I remember Gosog and I were talking about that. How I would, like, I don't open up 4 stars really anymore. And he was like, "Well, that's I mean, like, you get a lot of like ISO, and if you don't use the ISO, you at least sell it for gold if you have an overflow or whatever." So like, I started opening up more
oh
four
yeah, for
stars as
sure.
opposed to using those for 5 star shards or something like that. And I had an overflow for a while. It was great. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, when I first started restarted the game, like um, I had an overflow of like 1,000 odd mini ISO bricks, and I think I went through them trying to get Doom to rank 4, just using like the 75 minis.
Okay.
Um, and I think I managed to get through like, God, like 200 of them, just trying to get them from like rank 2 to rank 3.
Jeez.
And I realized like I am not going to be able to like continue doing this. Like, I need a better income of
Right.
ISO. Even
Yeah,
now,
no.
I'm still struggling with ISO.
Right, they need to add that. I didn't look a little deeper dive into the solo events, but they should have added ISO in there. Hopefully, they did.
They added a little bit,
Yeah,
like just like a little bit into the solo events.
I'm not a huge fan of the update. Although
No.
there was those crystals I get. I mean, I don't know. It seems like, but I saw somebody on Twitter. I think it was Wade Thrillson. He posted he had like he got like an attack boost, a health boost, and maybe like a something else boost. So those boosts are nice there, right? Not gonna really complain about those because those do come in handy here and there.
It's come in handy for a lot of content, in my opinion.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely come in handy for a lot of stuff.
All right. Well, I mean, the few more notes that I had here were more of just kind of like what we're going to be getting into with our podcast here. So we'll kind of start. I think one of the things that I know I really want to get into and wanted to, um, I guess showcase a lot, and I think maybe we'll showcase, maybe one individually each show or a couple individually each show is the tools that alliance leaders, alliance officers use, and even just summoners use, right? Like Joanna. Like Joanna's one that everybody kind of has in line, and it's a great tool.
Joanna is, yeah, it's definitely useful.
When it works, I guess. But no, I mean,
Yeah,
those things
doesn't
are
always
super
work.
tough, for sure, and they're super tough, and they're normal people like you and I. Instead of doing podcasts and stuff, they're trying to run Joanna. So, props to them, and thank you to them, and everybody else out here who kind of puts those tools and bots together. You guys aren't getting paid and stuff, but I know people do kind of donate and whatnot, which is totally awesome. Definitely appreciate those and all that stuff. But it's awesome that people kind of make those pieces. And so Joanna's one of them. MCOC Turkos, he's been doing it forever. Thank them, and they've solid, always reliable info there. Frontline MCOC, he's been doing a lot of stuff over this past year and a bit. If you're on Twitter, he's always kind of putting stuff out there, and definitely he's got good articles. One of his articles that I know I always read, or at least look out for, are the 100% availability rosters, which is another thing we were just talking about. Your champs are locked up. He does an article and kind of finds and does the math and looks at his schedule to see when, like you'll be able to use 100% of your roster for like a couple days or 36 hours or whatever. So I know those articles are always cool, and I always use those. I definitely, everybody else, check them out. And then MCOC guide. I think everybody, if you ever type in MCOC anything in Google, MCOC guide comes up. Thanks to those dudes. And then Aunt May. That's a solid site for sure. Just very visually appealing and clean and definitely works. And appreciate all those guys out there too. And then MCOC, Infobot, and Concierge, they recently just kind of did a merge. So looking forward to seeing what those guys come out with. But they've both always been kind of doing solid work there. I mean, I know the Infobot, they always do the calendar. And then the Concierge, they have a whole bunch of stuff too. I was actually looking at the Concierge earlier. They had a lot of stuff that we're going to go over next week as far as like the Alliance Quest, like Doom bots and minis and stuff like that. And the Concierge, they've really put together some solid images. So that's probably what we'll be sharing with that too, as well as when we talk about those Alliance stuff.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, and then maybe I had some recruiting notes, but I feel like that could maybe go for a different episode. But I think for our first episode, I feel like we've kind of covered quite a lot and kind of what we're going to get after and what everybody can expect here, would you say? Is there anything else that I might have left out there?
No, I think you're all good with that.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, yeah. I mean, just while you guys are here and while everybody's listening, we're gonna replay this stuff and my chilling with Moose and the podcast. And if anybody else has a podcast out there, I'd love to air it. I just kind of launched the Battle Realm Radio, so it's like an internet radio channel. Where if you just go to the mclounge.bar/Battle Realm Radio, you can just play it. So what I plan to do with it is just have some jams going. If you want to just play them, every 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you get some MCOC news, play that while you're grinding or whatever. But just kind of get people's info out there, and then they'll be able to tune in and listen kind of whenever. So keep an eye out for all that stuff. But yeah. Other than that, you know, I do my chilling with Moo00se on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Those are always fun. It's funny. Every morning I wake up with a new message saying my video is blocked because of some of the songs I play, because I don't really care what songs I play. Yeah, I'll play like, you know, I mean, I just played like the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack. So I think, a lot of the Fleetwood Mac, really, they kind of blocked a lot of that. They weren't fans of that. So tune in live if you wanted to hang out with those on YouTube, because there's some solid tunes, and those you don't get to rewatch those; they get blocked. So, but yeah, no, man, I'm really looking forward to this. Like I said, you know, there's a lot of stuff that I have kind of in the back of my head for Alliance stuff. So I look forward to getting it out there with you, man.
Yeah, definitely, and you, buddy.
Awesome. Well, everybody, thanks for joining us. Everybody here on my YouTube. Let me see. Let me go through here. We got Baron, thanks for showing up. Grim Reaper, Carlos, Q24, thanks, bro. Jay Waning, Lake Crespa. Who are you, Lake Crespa? We need to chat. Billy D, Tally, Mr. Boombastic, People's Champ, Hyena, Billy D. Thanks, dudes. Yodeling? You love the yodeling, Billy D. Tekka and then Azure. Oh, look, there was a song that I was playing where like there was a bunch of yodeling in the background. It was, I forgot which soundtrack it was. I think it was the Far From Home soundtrack. There's like just the whole song of yodeling.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he got a kick out of that. So, but yeah, no. So everybody, yeah, thanks for showing up on episode number 1. We'll post it on like you know, all the major outlets. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, appreciate it, and definitely look forward. And you have a great rest of your night over there on the other side of the pond, and I'll have a great rest of my day.
And you, buddy. And you.
Thanks, man. Have
a good one, man.
Have a good one, man. You too. Thanks, everybody.